Hey guys, it's Kelsey and back with another scrapbooking process video. This is my first layout with Scraptember. So day 4 is a scrap lift of our choice, and this is the layout I decided to go with. I found it on Instagram. It's Amalie Koizen. I'm not sure how to pronounce her name, but I just loved the design of it. I loved the paper strips at the top and the bottom, and I really thought it would go well with this collection with what I was trying to do. I knew I wanted to use one of the mushroom prints right away, and the two photos I'm scrap lifting are me and my mom in a local creek looking for geodes. So I thought this kind of outdoorsy, kind of more subtle mushroom print would be really good for that. And I really wanted to use one of the green papers and then one of the more neutrally toned, so I decided to go with these three. I definitely wanted to show off the mushroom paper, but I was worried the print would be too busy as a background. So I really loved with this design how you have these strips on the top of the bottom where you can just really see that pattern, but it's not distracting from the main part of the layout. So I'm going to go ahead and piece together my 12 by 12, and I just want to salvage what I can. This is the first page I'm doing with my kit for this month, and a lot of these papers I just really love, so I don't want to use a lot of it this early. So it helps that with two of these papers I only had to use a couple strips, but even with the green background, I wanted to salvage what I could. So instead of piecing the strips onto the 12 by 12 of the green, I'm piecing it onto this scrap piece of black construction paper. That way I can salvage a chunk of the green as well. So I'm just going to get this stuff stuck down. Her layout, she didn't tear the paper, but I just felt like with this being an outdoorsy and kind of a cottagey type collection, I really liked the texture that the torn paper added, so that's why I decided to do that. So I'm just trying to get this stuff stuck down, and then I'll piece together the green portion. But this day was really fun. This was one of our days where me and my mom had intended to go garage sailing. And then after driving around for over an hour and not seeing any signs, we tried to figure out some other things to do since we were together. So there's this creek that's close to her house. And I don't know how we got onto the topic of it, but our area is supposed to have like geodes in the area, and so one of the places that's really good to look for them are in these kind of creek areas where the sides have eroded. So that's what we decided to do as part of our stuff instead of garage sailing. And my mom actually found one, but it was like teeny tiny and it was just full of druzy. It was really cool. I didn't find any, but I found a couple other cool rocks. But it was just fun, and it was a really hot day, so it was really nice being able to get into the water to help cool us off. The picture of me, like my head's all wet because I'd like dunked my hair in the water because I was so hot. But I kind of want to stagger the two photos the same way that my inspiration layout did. I trimmed them down a little bit, but the photos are still bigger than the ones in the layout that I'm lifting. So my paper layers are going to be a little different because I just felt like the photos were too big a proportion to do the same layering they did. So now I'm just trying to figure out how I want to create my clusters and stuff. I'm using a couple of these cut apart pieces from this one layout. I definitely want to incorporate the colors that are in the mushroom print, so I'm trying to find some of these mustardy yellow papers that I can incorporate into my clusters to pull that yellow in. None of these papers actually have the gold foiling on it, which comes in this collection, so it kind of left it open to me to decide what metallic I wanted to use, but once I started looking at what embellishment I wanted to use, I ended up doing gold anyways. So I'm just trying to figure out my layers here really quick. I'm going to go ahead and matte both of the photos on white just so I have a simple white layer going around it, so that's one layer I don't have to worry about. I got stuck for a while because I really wanted to do paper layers. I didn't want to have to cut into any more 12 by 12s. I'm already cutting into 3 on the first layout, so I didn't want to cut into another one. So I ended up just using that kind of neutrally peach pink color scraps from that paper to form parts of my clusters instead of actually doing like paper layers. But I go through a lot of different things I was wanting to do. I pulled in a couple other layery bits like a doily and I really wanted to use this yellow journaling spot as part of my layers since it has the yellow, but it just wasn't gonna work, so I kind of had to change my mind a little bit. I did really want to use the little square pink cut apart piece. It says love this life and it has a little bird on it, and it's the perfect colors to go with the mushroom paper, so I definitely want to get that used up, as well as the little yellow strip from the cut apart piece. I think both of those will be really easy to use. And then from the other stuff I pulled out, I was determined to get one of these moth chipboard pieces on here. I love the moths that come in this pack. But you'll see what ends up happening as I go through the process of trying to use that. But I have a lot of really fun, different types of embellishment this month. I love these little layered acetate feathers. I think they're so cool. My mom gave them to me and I really wanted to use one of those on this page, so I decided to go with the green one since this is more of a neutrally toned layout. I really wanted to try to get that green one on here. So I'm forming my first little cluster. I'm getting those 2 cut apart pieces stuck down to the lower right hand part of that second photo. And I really like how this is looking. I just know I need more to kind of round out my cluster, and that's what kind of made me stuck for a while. I really like this feather. I think what kind of tripped me up embellishment wise is I have a lot of really cool different embellishment for this kit this month, but none of the embellishments really coordinate with each other. So I was finding that when I pulled one thing in that I really loved to use on the layout, it kind of made it more difficult for me to want to use some of the other stuff because they just didn't match what I already had used. I decided to try to paint this chipboard one of the colors on this paper to help it kind of coordinate. I didn't want to use the chipboard raw like that, so I went in with this like pinky color that I thought would match that peachy tone really well, and I couldn't find my paintbrush, so I tried to use my finger, and that was my first mistake because I just ended up getting too much paint globbed in the detailed cutout parts of the chipboard, and it just started to look messy. So I should have just used a paintbrush. But even once I got through with this part and it dried, the pink was too much. It's like a ballet pink. It's not really the tanny peachy color that the pink is on this layout. So I ended up going back over it in white, which is my second mistake because I like it a lot better in white. But since I'd already kind of made a mess with the paint, it adding more paint on top of it just made it look more messy. So you'll see me go back and forth with that piece, and I really hope I can salvage it to use on another layout. But I didn't end up getting it on this one because I just needed to clean it up a little bit better than what I ended up having it. But I did decide to use a scrap of that same paper and just create a banner to round out this one cluster on the bottom, which I really like. And then I wanted to go ahead and start sticking stuff down, but I haven't glued down this green paper because I knew I wanted to gut another section of it for later this month. So I'm just going to go ahead and gut what's behind my photos so I have this green for later on. I feel like I'm going to want this green on like every layout, and I only have a couple 12x12s of it, so whatever I can salvage from this one I want to. So I got that, and now I'm going to officially glue down the 12x12 and get that together. I apologize for my voice. I forgot to say in the beginning, I'm getting over a cold. I feel better. I just don't sound better. So my voice still sounds a little funny. It might be for the next couple videos. I have my process video for day 11 right after this one. So for at least this one and that one, it's going to be a little funny. But once I got all these pieces together, I decided just to line up the edges a little bit by trimming off the excess, and now that that's all straight, I feel like I can actually start gluing stuff down to the layout. So I'm trying again with this yellow journaling piece. Since I have embellishment on the lower right, I'm trying to do embellishment on the upper left to kind of frame my photos. So I thought about maybe using that yellow piece over there, but It just doesn't make it. I'm back again with the moth. I'm trying to do the white, and I went and found a brush, which definitely helped, but it's a little too late because I made it too messy from before when I tried to paint it with my finger. And I love this moth so much, so I have another one that came in the pack, but I really hope I can salvage this one too this month because I just really like it. Maybe I'll end up putting it on here anyways. After the layout, you guys can let me know if you think I can still stick it on here. I'm thinking I'll tell you at the end kind of where I'm thinking. I really want to use it, but I ended up finishing the layout without it, and now I don't know if I can add it or not. But I do add that doily to the upper left-hand corner as the base for that cluster. And I have another scrap of that piece, so I decided to trim it into a giant tag to tuck behind that photo. So I'm just using a template from a tag I already have in my stash, and then one of these little white hole reinforcements from Ronnie to make that look like a real tag. So I'm going to glue that down really quick, and I'm going to thread it with golden white twine. One of the things I really wanted to use on this layout were one of the gold feathers that my mom gave me, but I was worried with using the green acetate feather that I couldn't use two feathers that looked so different on the same layout. But I ended up squeezing one on here, and I think it looks okay. But anyways, that being said, I decided to go with gold, so I went ahead and threaded the tag with white and gold twine. So I really like that. So that's the base for that cluster. I thought about adding a glassine bag. I don't think that would have been a bad idea. I just felt like there was a lot of white on white. And I think this gold feather just looks so cool. I really like this gold feather. It's really cute. I was really excited when my mom gave them to me, and I've been hoarding them for a collection to use them on. And I felt like with the nature-y aspect of this collection, because I'm using this collection for How to Kill a Kit with Style for the earth tones theme, and I just think using something raw and natural like a feather is also really appropriate. So I'm using the feather, and I think it's fine with the other feather, so you guys let me know. But I really am happy I got a gold feather on here, and since I introduced the gold, I'm gonna go ahead and do my title in gold as well, which I love. I've been haven't used these stickers in forever. I'm pretty sure they're Dear Lizzie, but I love the gold glitter. I loved that there were word thickers, so I'm using this Beautiful Life portion of that title, and then I'm going in with my gold Fitzgerald thickers to spell the word my. So together the title reads My Beautiful Life, and I just love how that gold fills up that space over there. I really like how it frames the photo with that feather, and I really feel like it helps balance out the page, which I love. And then I wanted some extra stuff to embellish with because I'm really lacking on embellishment this month. I have a lot of different type of embellishment, but a lot of like stuff that's hard to use as little bits. That's where I was thinking that moth could go. I'm trying to clean it up here to attempt to put it up there, but that's where I was thinking it would go, is just right there in the nook of the title. So you guys can let me know if you think it looks okay there, but in my opinion, I felt like the layout looked better without it, as much as I really wanted to use the moth. But yeah, I love the little gold triangles that I added from the thicker sheet to kind of fill out all the gold. And then I am going to go in with my gold Heidi Swap Color Shine at the end too, just to sprinkle a little bit more gold. And I really love these gold feathers because it looks like it's kind of dipped in Heidi Swap Gold Color Shine, and then the tip is like dipped in gold glitter. So I really like that I have both of the gold textures going on this page. So I struggle a lot with this moth, trying to clean it up and kind of pick the paint out from within those little detailed areas. I mean, it looks okay from this top down view. Maybe it's just because it's in person I can notice more of the imperfections, but I really want to use it. I just don't know if it's going to happen on this layout. Maybe another layout this month, I don't know. But this is where I go ahead and thread the tag with the golden white twine. I I feel like to me it's pretty obvious what we're doing, but I do go in with a pen and just in the little yellow journaling spot say rock hounding, just so I have for future reference what we were doing in the creek. And then I added the Heidi Swapp Gold color shine. So I'm pretty sure that's it though. I'm gonna try again with this moth. I thought maybe if I could put it at the bottom there it would be okay, but I don't know. I decided not to use it. But I think the close-ups are here in a minute. Make sure you check the playlist for Scraptember to see everyone playing along. People are playing every single day this month. I'm going to play along as much as I can, but I'm definitely not doing it every month. But I'll see you guys in the next one. This was a lot of fun. Thanks for watching. Bye.